Good afternoon, OG family, or good evening, wherever you're joining us today. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be joining you in this platform. It's such a great privilege to be able to serve you today in this platform that has been such a blessing and an opportunity to grow as an OG family. Seriously, I feel so grateful to OG corporate, to our OG leadership, and to God for this opportunity to be able to participate in this call that has been such a blessing in my life for the last 8.5 years. It's been an opportunity to grow. It's been an opportunity to really learn from people who have walked the ropes of Organo. And so for me today, I am so excited because I get to share this opportunity with some people that I feel really grateful for. They are amazing leaders from the Central Florida region. So make sure you connect your teams and you're connected in this platform, which has been such an important platform. Last week we had the amazing Jacob Rakowski, such a wonderful leader, king of coffee. I think it was in 2016. He has led the way with so many testimonies impacting the lives of people around the world. So in the week before, we've had extraordinary emeralds. We have had our crown ambassador, Ms. Blanca Saturas, Dr. Bob Rakowski, Blue Diamonds. And so to be able to be here today is such an honor. And when we were talking about what do we want to talk about, I was thinking, like, what is something that I think has made a big impact in my career, and it has helped me really see this as a mature businesswoman. What will make my business different? What has made my business experience different? What has allowed me to stay committed the last 8.5 years to this vision? And I think that in the Spanish call, I had the privilege to share a couple weeks ago, and I said something that I had read a book called The First Year of Network Marketing with Mark Yarnell, and he said that you need to keep a company, choose a company, and stay committed for 10 years. So reading this, I think it was my second year network marketing, or my 1.5 years, almost 2 years, I was like, wow, staying committed to a company for 10 years will ensure that you reach extraordinary results for you and your family. And I was like, really? Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. And that's what has allowed me to stay committed to my company, to the product, to the experience, without looking sideways, right? So this information at an early onset has allowed me to stay committed. And that's the topic today, commitment. Wow, that's a big word. And in today's society, commitment can be something that it's scary, right? Because we're used to moving to when something doesn't work, we give up. Right? Even in relationships, we start something, we give up. But what if we stay committed to the process? What happens? What is the result? And that's what we're going to be talking about today, commitment. If we look at the word commitment, what does it mean? Commitment is the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, etc. It's the act of. Is the state of, is the quality, is the character that you're going to have. What do you want to be in your business? Do you want to be committed? And that's something, reading that, understanding that it was a commitment, not a 5-month commitment, not a 6 months. It's 18 months first, the system says, but we've recently heard from Mr. Paul Caldwell, our chairman, executive chairman, that you need to be committed at least 5 years to the process. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, again, commitment, the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause and activity. Wow, isn't that powerful? Isn't that what we really want to be committed to, right? So we go from there and we understand that commitment is everything. Now, what does commitment look like, right? And we need to understand, what are we committing to? We're committing to our dreams. What does our dreams look like? Your vision. What is the vision that you have for yourself? Your business, right? To your business, to the system. right? To the system that we have, the activity of doing the activity over and over and over again. That commitment is necessary. It's transcendental to becoming the person we want to become. But you need to know what you're committing to. And defining who you want to be and what you want is fundamental. So when things are hard and you do not want to be committed, you know why you're being committed. And many times we start something, but we don't know why we're committed. And so when you don't know why you're committed, guess what? Guess what? It's difficult to stay in the process. It's difficult to stay in the process because you're like, oh, I don't know, why am I doing this? Why am I going out there sampling? Why am I going to do the 4 steps? Why am I going to go to the meeting? Why am I going to go to the event? It's because you haven't defined what you're committed to. And that's the reason. That's the main thing. You need to know why. Mr. Shane Moran always talks about the why. The why is important. The why is important. Why are you staying committed? But you're like, is this only an organo? And actually, that's where we're going to start off. It's not only an organo. It's in life. And I want to share something with you today, and it's the cycle of life. Guess what? Everything in life is a commitment process. The first, it starts with the seed. This seed that you have is every single seed is different. For every fruit that we have is different. Every little seed we have is different, right? And then that seed, you have to plant the seed. And as a leader, we have to plant the seed, or as a distributor, we have to plant the seed. And then you have to understand this process of commitment is a 3-step process. The first, you have to find the seed. And in this case, you find organo. Then you have to cultivate the seed. You have to practice. You have to go and you have to do the process every day, going out there and committing to that seed. In the seeding process, then you have to water it. You have to add all the ingredients necessary to make sure that that soil is fruitful, and that soil is going to be conductive to your result, to the end, to the fruit, to the end. But you need to go through that process of watering the seed, making sure the soil is correct. You have to make sure every day you are crafting your seed, whatever you planted, whatever it is that you planted. In our case, is this business. If you prospected someone, you have to follow the seed. Every day you have to follow up, We have to follow up, then you have to take them through the process. And the same thing when you sign someone up, you can't just sign them up and just leave them like that. You have to go through the process. Correct? And then it's a small tree. When you sign them up, they're a small tree. You have to train them, and you have to take them through the process. You have to do the 4 steps, show them, show, shadow, duplicate. It's the same thing with the fruit. You can't just leave them like that, because if a hurricane comes or if a storm comes, your tree will basically be uprooted. And then you have a growing tree. You have a growing tree, and that's the one that is fermented in the soil. And then you have the result, which is the end result is the fruit. That's the fruit. That's the final product. But many times, many people feel that they're not seeing the results. They're not seeing the results, and they feel like giving up. And if you're feeling like that, if you've been in the business 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, or 6 years, you have to ask yourself, okay, the last thing to grow is on a tree, on a fruit tree, is the fruit. Is the fruit. So we need to understand that. Sometimes we want to be diamonds, we want to be a different position, but sometimes we have to grow in the inside so that we can see the results externally. And our results externally is going to be directly proportional to our growth in the inside. But you can't switch your tree. You can't go and start seeing, if you're an apple tree, you have to grow the apple tree a certain way. It can't grow the same way as a orange tree. Each tree has a different process. And you need to understand that so that you're committed to your own growth. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If you're making sense, this is important because understanding what you're going through will allow you to stay committed when things are not clear, when things are difficult, when things are distractions come away in the family life or in the personal life or in your business or your finances. There are going to be distractions. But if you understand, I think that Blue Diamond, Miss Casey Nielsen always talks about it, understanding things gives you the ability to stay focused. Right? And so understanding those things is what's going to allow you to stay committed to the end result. Now, we see this example in the seed, and we see this example in the fruits, and we see this example in nature. But you're like, how does this relate to a business? And this is something Mr. Paul Caldwell said this last weekend in Houston. He said, network marketing is not an industry. It is just a way of doing business. We are in a direct sales industry. We are in business. We are entrepreneurs, and we have to understand that this is a business and that we have to develop this mindset of entrepreneurship. We have to understand what ecosystem, a word that he's often using, what ecosystem we're part of, so that we can really nurture our business and we can stay committed to its growth. In business, most businesses, they only last 5 years. I mean, most businesses don't make it past 5 years. And most business reach break even after 5 years. So the same is for our business. And something that we need to understand is the economic cycle of a business. When you start in, you have the real output, right? This is what you have. You have the results. Oops, sorry, I hit click. Go ahead. And then on the left is the time, okay? When you first start, you get momentum. You're signed up, you're joined, you're like, wow, I'm going to be a millionaire, which takes time, but you're excited, you are fired up, and you're like, I am going to be the next coffee this, I'm going to be the next BU this, I'm going to do this, and you're excited, right? Because you just signed up. But then people start saying no, and then the distractions come in, and you start with a peak, and then you go into recession. And you go through a drought, you go into difficulties, and then you recover. You go to an event and you recover. This is in our model, but most businesses have peaks, recovery, peaks and recovery. But every time you're in your low season, and if you keep growing, if you stay committed to your dreams and your goals, and you stay committed to self-development, you will go higher the next time. Your peak will be higher the next time. And if you can see in this model, it goes down and it goes up. It goes down and it goes up. And it's higher and higher and higher and higher. And that's where we need to be committed to that process of growing, that process of having peaks and valleys, and using the valleys as an opportunity to reflect inwardly. It's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to really become the best versions of ourselves, the best business model, that people want to be in business with you, because people are going to stay part of your business if they see growth in you. And if people quit in your business, it also doesn't mean that you're not the right person. It means that you need to keep looking for more seeds. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? You have to keep growing more plants, planting more, and be better at that process of being committed to growing a lot of people and you growing yourself. Now, I want to show you another one, because this really helped me see it in this visionary. We see it in a mountain. Is time. It takes time for these expansions and growth. And you know what? You can see it here again. Small growth. You hit sapphire, and maybe you go down again. And then you have to go back up and start growing and start building. And you go up, and maybe you have to go down again. Ruby. You get stuck at ruby. You get stuck at emerald. You may get stuck at diamond, but doesn't mean you have to quit, because you have to go, when you want to quit, you have to go back to the main question. Why did you start? Why am I going to stay committed to this vision, this dream that I have, right? And that's the process that we have to fall in love with, because staying in love to your vision and to your commitment is what's going to make the difference to doing this business at another level. And I think that that's the main thing that we need to make sure that we do. Now, I want to share something with you guys before we get started. This process is easy, it's simple, but it's not easy. You have to find ways to stay inspired. You have to find ways to stay committed to your own journey. You have to find ways to really become connected to the end result. And that sometimes takes effort. Sometimes it takes determination, and sometimes it takes courage to not quit when others are quitting. And you have to go back to this process and understand the maturity level, the growing pains, and the commitment to continuity is what is success. That's the commitment to growth, continue. That's what success is really about, is having the discipline not to give up. And staying focused that you can be the next person to really impact your community, to really impact the businesses around the world. Commitment to having the best tea. I mean, I love this green tea. I love our red tea. Commitment to the best products, but that commitment and that loyalty is something you have to decide who you're going to be. And it can be decided by someone else, because if you don't have a definition of who you want to be, you're going to be persuaded and committed to do other things that really do not resonate with you. So that's why when you're wearing your Organo shirt, you need to know I am committed to Organo, but not only to Organo, to my own dreams, to my family, to my whys. And there's a family in Organo that I have a lot of respect for. They've been in the business for almost 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. They are public school teachers for over 20 years. They're born and raised in Tampa. They have 3 adult children. And they build the business part-time. They've had their upline quit. They've had team members quit. They had diamonds quit. They've had the whole entire upline quit. But they've stayed committed to the vision that they have for their family. They've decided to build the business in 2 ways. They build the business through retail and through growing their teams. And in the vision that they had for their retail, they received a lot of no's. They did a lot of events and people no-showed, very low turnout, part of building, right? But they stayed committed to building relationships. They stayed committed to being truly people of integrity. And they believed in the vision from the beginning. And they're going to tell us why they believed in the vision. But guess what? They stayed committed. And that business started to grow. And now we're not making any income claims because honestly, I don't make this kind of money in the retail. I haven't mastered that myself. I've had 6 figures income, but not with the retail part of it. And no income claims because everyone's process is different. But what I can tell you is that they've built this business to such a degree that they're 6-figure income. They earn more in their retail part-time, more than they earn in their traditional jobs. This has sponsored for them to buy 2 cash, not a note on it, completely cash, 2 luxury cars. They've been able to pay for many things for their daughters, and they've helped other people in the team do the same. And even though the results are amazing, which are awesome, because seriously, as we know, as a school teacher, I mean, it's very difficult. But what I love is who they are as people and who they become as business owners, because their maturity has given them the character to withstand a lot of distractions that happen in life and that happen in the business and the type of business that we're in, where there's a lot of change, there's always a lot of expansion, there's contractions, and it takes a mature person to stay committed to their vision to have the results that they're having. And so for me, it's a great honor and a great privilege to introduce to you from Tampa, Florida, Sapphire leaders who we've worked together. We decided to work in partnership and build the Central Florida. And we're really excited. And whenever I was going to share, like, they are the best people to share about what's commitment. Because commitment is not only saying I'm committed. A commitment, you have to show it. You have to show it. When times are difficult, you have to say, hey, I'm going to the next peak. I'm going to the next level. I'm going to rise up from this situation. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you local Sapphires, great future diamonds. They're diamonds already. They're diamonds in the rough, but they're diamonds in character and then results. And technically they're having diamond results in a different way. They have an amazing team. They're growing. They have a new team. They took the promotion, a team in growth in Toronto. They have people all across the U.S. So they're building as well, because they understand that it's you have to walk and talk building and retailing. So they do both. And so without further ado, I would introduce you to this call for the first time ever. Great go-getters. You're going to get to hear from them on this call. From Tampa, Florida. I think I said it, but, you know, again, Tampa, Florida, representing what it is to be committed. Mrs. Mia and Mr. Sharon Small. Welcome to the call. Can we hear you?
Yes. Can you hear us, OG Nation?
Yes, we can hear you, Mrs. Smalls. Welcome to the call.
Oh, Ms. Odile, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. We are so grateful for you and your leadership and your support, being that you're an amazing diamond right here in Florida. And then that introduction, we're just grateful for the platform and to share our story today. Thank you.
Hey, I'm really excited because as you were speaking and really talking about us, I'm sitting here saying to myself, and she actually talking about us. This is absolutely amazing. I'm super excited to be a part of this. Everything that you somewhat said about us, I started to reflect, and I said, oh my gosh, yeah, I think she's talking about us. So this is pretty cool. Thank you again for having us on this platform.
Wow, yes, I am definitely talking about you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight in this conversation about success, which to us, I think when we were talking, preparing for this call, we talked about success being commitment, being loyal to that vision. And I really want to just hear from you guys. The results that you're having are amazing. I love your new cars, but I love everything you're building. I know your children are involved in part of the vision that you're growing and that you're impacting a lot of people's lives around the world. One of the first questions I really want to know from you guys, what allowed you to make a decision, first individually and as a couple, to be committed to this project?
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and let my wife go first. No.
Ladies first, you know what they say. Well, so as an individual, like you said, I've actually been an educator for about 28 years now, and it's definitely like a tough arena just to kind of get up every day, have the alarm clock set, and go to work, and just find yourself in that that daily routine. And so I found myself stuck in that cycle. It's kind of like that movie Caddyshack, where the gopher woke up every day and it was the same thing, same routine, same life. But when we came and went to our first mixer with my aunt and uncle at the time who invited us, it was absolutely amazing. We didn't know what to expect. The funny thing is, kind of like some other people, we were actually tricked when we went to their mixer. They invited us over. They said, oh, we're going to fix your favorite meal, and kind of dangled the carrot by inviting us to dinner. And when we went, we saw the video, we saw the OG opportunity, and the thing we did as a couple, I knew for me it was going to help fill a void. And then as a couple, we actually looked at each other, we locked eyes, and we said, we're doing this. And so that's what me as an individual and us as a couple.
And you know what?
We can't hear you, Mr. Sean. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Really, for me, the thing is that when I think about that particular question, I somewhat reflect on situations, circumstances in my own personal life. I had a stepfather that was really committed to my mom for over 35 years. He married my mom. She had 5 children. And I saw this guy, not really have a lot of money. He didn't have the fancy cars or a fancy home, but what he had was he had a commitment to my mom. He had a commitment to our family. And so when I think about commitment, when you ask me, well, what helped you make a decision to be committed? Well, I saw that example in my life. And so when you see that example, it typically becomes a part of you because, he didn't need to be applauded for what he was doing. He didn't need to have awards, but that spoke volumes for me. And I really believe that that was just a real small part of why I approach things the way I do, because I had a really good example in my life.
That's great. So both of you, you're saying that the decision that you made to each other and then seeing that example as an individual on your personal level, it allowed you to say, hey, I want to model this, duplicate this in anything I do. So there's something in your character.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then as a couple, what allowed you to make that decision to say, hey, this is what we really want to? I know that you just saw and you saw the vision right away, but I'm sure that as a couple, you say, hey, we're going to stay committed this for the long run.
Well, sometimes when you sign up for an opportunity, I say it this way, and I said this to my wife, and of course I've said this to, some of the people that will allow for me to be a small part of their success, is that a lot of time when you sign up for an opportunity, you don't have to sign up for the whole race. All you have to do is get on the starting line. And I think for my wife and I, what we decided to do is we said, hey, listen, I saw the different results that I was having in my previous life. And the one thing that I realized is that the trauma that I had been through when it came to really just finances, when it came to, not being able to be in charge of my future, I just did not want to go down that road. And my wife started in me. And so as a couple, when we made a commitment to be a part of this opportunity, I want to say that we were all in for starting. And then as you continue to start and you continue to learn things about yourself, that commitment starts to grow on the inside of you. Mm-hmm. And so that's what it kind of did for us. Yeah. It just continued to grow on the inside of us. And every day for us is a decision and a commitment. But we typically say, hey, we're doing this. We're going to be committed today. And then tomorrow, guess what? We're going to wake up and we're going to lock eyes again, and we're going to be committed again. That's what we've been doing for the last 6 years.
That's awesome. So you're committed to doing the little things every day. So signing up every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And do you stay committed to is there a vision that you're working towards, or what has been that has allowed you to really, I mean, I know that every day you sign up, but is there something that you're working towards every day that keeps you motivated, focused, and committed?
The thing is that, when it comes to, a vision, I really believe that, especially me being, me and my wife, and of course, being the head of this household, but me being the head of this household, I really believe that, the vision for my family is about, me being the best version of myself that I can be for them. When it comes to vision, I want to see what we can accomplish with this. And so my biggest vision is, hey, I've seen this business and this opportunity do some amazing things for so many people. Well, I ask myself every day, and I talk to my wife, and I say, hey, what if we can accomplish that? And why not try? And so, that's really our vision. Our vision is to see how far we can go with this opportunity. Because I have to tell you, and I know you mentioned it just a little bit, but my wife and I, being Sapphire consultants, we've seen a lot. We've experienced a lot. There's been a lot of valley experiences. There's been a lot of at the mountain experiences. But what I said to her the other day, I said, Mia, you have to understand everything we've gone through in this business. we've hit the level of Sapphire Consultants, and we have luxury cars, driveway, and we've not even gone to the next level. I said, so our excitement has gone up even another level because our vision is go from where we are to where we can be. Not only that, how many people we can take along the way. So that's our vision. Who can we help reach some of the things that we've already been able to accomplish?
That's great. So you're committed because you know you've been through a lot of successes, you've had a lot of victories, but you want to take more people with you. And that's something important. I think that Mr. Zig Ziglar says the more people you help get what they want, you will get what you want. And if it's not Zig Ziglar, it is his name escapes me right now, but the more people you help get what they want, you will get what you want. And that's the process of building. And if you understand that, the better, the more committed. So you're committed to your team as well. And that's fantastic. Absolutely. Now, I know you had some distractions. You've had people quit in your business above and below. You've seen a lot of changes in the last 6 years because you passed that 5-year threshold. And what types of distractions have interfered? Can you share a little bit of some of the distractions you've gone through and how you've overcome those distractions?
Yeah, well, you want to share, you want me to share?
I'll share a little bit and then he can chime in. So definitely that's one of the things I've certainly learned about life. You know, life has its ups and its downs. And so with distractions for us, they've come in a multitude of ways, whether it's been from physical health, some of our job and work-related responsibilities, some relationship-related kind of distractions that come our way, and even when it comes to us learning and growing as a person so that we can better serve and support the needs of others. So learning about our team members and what are their strengths and what are their needs and how can we support that. You know, so there's a myriad of things that have come our way, but I'm going to toss it over to my husband and he'll kind of drill into how do we overcome those and how we get through it.
Well, you know, when it comes to the distractions, quickly, I like to
Mr. Sharon, if you can, there we go. We can hear you better.
Can you hear me now?
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So as it comes to distractions, one of the things that I've realized is that, most of us know, especially us adults, we know that there's nothing new up under the sun. We know that, some of the problems that, we have, other people have those problems as well. And they can even have those problems in a greater degree. But here's the thing is that I really believe that, one of the things that really has helped us to weather the different storms that come is personal development. That's the key component that has really helped me to even when it comes to physical challenges. One of the distractions can be, you want to build your business, but you have to go to work. And people are buying for your time. They want you to complete assignments, at work. Or you might be challenged with, your children. They may have, situations and circumstances where they need you. And I just think that one of the things that, we've been able to do is we've been able to provide, help and support to our children. We've been able to, do what is necessary, at the job, but stay committed to what we know is going to help us to design the future that we want. Because distractions, what's amazing is that anytime you say you're going to do something great and amazing, that's typically when the distractions say, well, let's see, what you're made of, if you will. So for me, what I've come to understand and how we've grown in this business is that, the bigger the devil, the greater the reward, if you will. So what has been happening for us as it relates to distractions, what we typically do is that we've learned how to discipline our disappointments. We've learned how to use distractions as stepping stones and not coming blocks. It's amazing. The same situation can happen to two different people. One is victorious and one is not. So what I had to do is say,
well, which one will we be, Mia? Will we be the guy that's victorious, or will we be the one that's not? And so we just continue to choose to weather the storm by, really saturating ourselves in personal development.
That's awesome. Basically what you're saying is so important, that when you cultivate your mind, you focus on the good, you will have the results. And it's called the pruning process. Even when you have the fruit, you have to break some branches off. Sometimes you have to cut off the tree and you have to plug it off so that you have new growth. And the distractions are that you have to clean some things inside of you. You have to change some things. You have to change some old habits. And it's necessary for you to be able to get out the best thing of you. Yeah. Sometimes we don't see it like that. We say, oh, this is something horrible, this is something hard, but it's part of the process to go to the next level. And it's kind of like what in the little image we just saw, you have the valleys, and those valleys is where you get prepared to go to the next level, to the next new conquer or the next peak, right? And so that's important. Like, I think that's a great thing that you're saying, that you have to understand that when you have distractions is where you have to work more on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes absolutely. Work is not only work in the business, on the business, but work, you need to know when to work in your business and when to work on your business. Right?
Absolutely.
So sometimes you have to continue to develop, to stay committed to the audios, to stay committed to the reading, stay committed to being on this call. One of the things that you've never missed a call. I know that you're always, we have a chat, and we're on connected. You're always connected to the source of information. And that's important. Now, I know you've had a lot of valleys in your business. Have you ever had to recommit have you had any points that you're like, oh, maybe this is not for me, and you have had to recommit to your dreams of becoming the Diamond Mr. Coffee and Mrs. Coffee, which I don't know you like to call yourself? Have you had to do that?
Well, you know what? Let me speak on that, because what's really comes to mind right now is that, when it comes to recommitment, what I typically, I have to ask myself, and I want to try to grade myself and grade my business, grade the business that we're in, because as you know, and I know you've mentioned this, is that, we build both. We look for people that are excited, that are willing to do the work, and want more than what they currently have. So we look for those people. We look for those champions. People that know that there's greatness on the inside of them, and they need to attach themselves to something that's winning. We believe that Organo is winning, and so we build both. And so that part of the business, sometimes, as you continue this journey, that part of the business can become tough for you. And sometimes you ask yourself, why am I taking myself through all of this?
Right.
I have a retail business that does more, and I'm not making any income claims, but does more than our jobs put together. So why am I taking myself through all of this? But what I say to myself, and I want you to get this, Miss Odile, and those that are listening, is that when my wife and I walked inside that home almost 6 years ago, we were like most people. We appeared to be okay, but we was one paycheck away from being broke. I want you to understand that our house went into foreclosure.
Wow.
These things were we were living. See, I'm not telling you something that I don't know. I'm telling you something that I lived. And so why do I continue to take myself? Why do I recommit? It's because there's people out there that were that are in my situation that I was in 6 years ago. And so it's worth it to us to reevaluate where we are, to recommit, not just for us, but for the next person that might be looking for someone that will believe in them. Her uncle and aunt believed in us enough to invite us out. And so that's why we recommit. Yes, we have to recommit. Yes, we have days where things are not going great. And you say, well, wait a minute, you're making all of this money. Well, what I've learned to understand in this business is that you can reach one level, but there's always another level to go, and you're always trying to get to that next level because of the greatness that's on the inside of you. Not because of the cars and the homes and all the things, but because of what's living on the inside of you. And I really believe that living on the inside of my wife and I is a commitment to say we're going to recommit on behalf of other people.
Wow. Ms. Mira, we can't hear you. If you can move a little bit to the left. There we go.
There you go. I was going to share that what helps us to also recommit to our dreams, just kind of facing them is number one, also adding to what he said is our belief in the amazing OG products, this amazing herb, the Ganoderma, and all the products that go along with it, and now our amazing BU line. We have a strong belief that these products and how Mr. Bernie Chewett, his vision to bring the treasures of the earth to the people of the world, we believe these products help people get better, live a healthier lifestyle. And so because we believe in the product, and that is very helpful for us to get to our dreams. The other thing is Organo has been a big blessing for us. It has changed our personal lifestyle. It put our life on a different path versus, the path of everyday life and how it was coming. Now we feel like we're in the driver's seat, using Organo as a tool, as the vehicle to reach our dreams and goals. So that helps us to believe and recommit every day simply because this is an amazing vehicle that helped us do that.
Fantastic. And one of the things that you're saying is really powerful is understanding that the commitment to where you were and where you are and being grateful to that change. And sometimes we forget, we have amnesia. We forget where we were. We forget how we were, how we looked, character, how much we've grown. And so we associate with we don't have to live in the past, but we have to remember where we were so that we can stay grateful and be grateful enough to the opportunity, but also to be committed to serving others. And I think that's some of the main things that you keep saying over and over is to help it and pass it forward to someone else. And I think that commitment first needs to be yourself, but also, like you're saying, is the commitment to help other people. And it is Mr. Zig Ziglar who said it. The more people you help get what they want, you will get what you want. And that's how the structure is. If you want to become a diamond, how many customers, how many distributors are you helping?
Yes.
How many people are you sharing the opportunity? And this past weekend in Houston, I was so excited to see how many people are really sharing the opportunity. But you have to commit yourself to that process. And every day, it's a commitment. It's a commitment to say, hey, I'm going to do what I need to do even when I don't want to. And that's the key to success, is to do what you say you're going to do even when no one's watching, or even when you really don't have the desire to do it.
Absolutely.
And so it's really exciting because I think if we develop this mindset, all of us, everyone in this amazing opportunity, to not give up, to not quit on our dreams, and to recommit to ourselves, to our teams, to the company, how far can we go? Right? And so that's important, because every day we have to kind of evaluate where we want to go and then who I want to be. And it's like, I don't know if you guys I know you watch basketball. The Raptors just won. I'm not sure which team you decide to be, but they were 2-0, but they committed again to winning. And they came from the 2-0s. And maybe you may be from the other side, but maybe the people who lost, they will commit to next year going back to win. So that's the mindset that we need to develop. Now, what would be the advice that you would give someone that is just starting Organo, or that they're having issues committing to their distributorship?
Well, let me just say this. My wife is checking to make sure the computer's okay. Because it would look like you see the battery did something crazy, but it's okay. Here's the thing is that, when it comes to, the advice that we would give to someone that's having commitment issues. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so when it comes to the advice that we would give to someone that's having commitment issues, when I think about that, what has really happened for me over these last, I want to say, anywhere from 2 to 5 years, Because when I first came into the business, came into Organo, you know, I was so busy listening to myself, and I gave myself advice. I gave I had all the answers. And, you know, the one thing that I started to do once I started, you know, really, you know, saturating myself in personal development is I stopped listening to myself, and I started surrounding myself with people that had results and had the answers. And I really believe that those people were willing to share those results with me. And, you know, everyone that would give me advice, not necessarily, I would say were millionaires, but these people had advice, these people had results because I can look at their life. Their life was not in turmoil. You know, I hopefully it's okay me mention a couple of names, but, you know, even like Miss J.C. Richardson, amazing person.
Exactly.
She really give me advice and give my wife and I advice because she's been in this industry a while. And I just applaud the person that she is for not only this area, but, you know, just other areas, you know, around the country. One of the other persons that I really believe that really has helped to help us guide our decision making, and a lot of you know her, the retail queen, Miss Cynthia Williams. I just remember, you know, even when it comes to retail, you know, I had a dilemma that I was faced with just recently, and I have to tell you, she gave me some advice. And not only did she give me advice, but this advice came in the form of, a philosophy. How you're looking at this wrong, Sharon. That's what she said to me. You're looking at this wrong. Why don't you look at it this way? And not only did that advice free me, but it spoke volumes to what a person can offer to you if you are willing to listen, if you take the position of a student as opposed to a person that knows it all. And so my biggest advice that I will give to someone that's having commitment issues is to surround yourself with quality people that have your answer. People that have been down that road that you're trying to go. Surround yourself. Another person, one last person that I really look up to is my brother. His name is Carl, and he gives me good advice. And sometimes him and we just get together for some relaxation, because if you do the business all the time and you don't take out time to just relax, sometimes, you know, you can get to a point where you feel like you're just doing way too much. And so I really appreciate him and his wife because they take out time to just sit with me sometime, talk with me, find out, hey, how's the business going? And by the way, he's one of my most favorite customers.
That's
Faithful
fantastic.
and favorite. And so I appreciate the opportunity just to surround myself with high quality people. So that's the advice that I will give to anyone that's having commitment issues.
And that's important. I think the mentorship is everything. In my case, I'm always, I just came back from being in Houston and spending quality time with Miss Blanca. And it was like refreshing. It was refreshing to be in that environment and to listen to her. Maybe you don't have a mentor per se. You can find mentorship in books and audios if you don't have someone in your life that you can look up to. But that's a great advice, because you need to know where you're going, but you also need to find people that have been that way, that been through that process, so that they can give you, hey, change this. Little shifts, little changes can make a big difference. It's like in a boat, you say, you know, even if you have a shift every single day on the boat, if you're in a trajectory, you can end up in a different location. It's a totally different location. So it's true. You need to find those people who are going to inspire you and who are going to speak life into you. And we're going to say, hey, change this. Maybe you're doing the presentation too long. Maybe you're you're prospecting this way.
Yes.
Maybe you need to change the way you dress. Maybe you need to speak the way you follow up. Maybe you just need to change the way you're thinking. You know, are you getting frustrated every time someone says no? Or are you going to see the no's as a step closer to being closer to your success? So it's important to have those people that are going to help you change, make paradigm shifts, because everything you're thinking is what's going to manifest. So it's important that you have, like you said, those right association. We're the product of the people we associate with, the books that we read and the audios we listen to. Those are going to really influence our results. And one thing that I think also that when you're committing is, I think my biggest thing to commitment is knowing who you want to be.
Yes,
I think
yes.
for me is that, because for me, I said, if I'm going to say I'm going to do something, it's for me. That's something that I want to commit to. So knowing that, I think it's important too. And my last question for you guys, I really have enjoyed this conversation, is why are you committed to Organo? I know that we're in Organo 2.0. We are in Organo, you know, it's exciting times in Organo. Why are you committed to this vision?
Well, I'll just add a little bit. So number one, for me, why I'm committed to this vision with Organo and the vehicle that it presents for us is it's been a doorway of gratefulness for me. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And for us, we are educators. Like we said, we're doing this part-time. And one of my favorite mentors said, you know, when you're doing this part-time and making the level of income that you're making, hey, I look at it as bonus. It's extra over and above, and it helps us reach our goals and dreams. And so why I'm committed to OG, like you said, something you alluded to earlier, Miss Odile, is you were talking about being grateful. So, and knowing what you want out of life and, you know, what's your why and your goals. So for us, getting our red OG notebook and taking time and journal out, have some time, journal out what's important to me. What are my values and what are our values as a family, such as, you know, being people of integrity. That is one of our first and foremost values. And then the other thing is we have to kind of self-reflect. What matters to us? What matters to me? Does my goal and dream matter, or is it just about going to work for 40 years, working 40 hours a day and only living off of 40% of my retirement, building someone else's dreams? So my dreams, I decided to take my own power back and embrace this as an opportunity to be empowered in the driver's seat and reach my goals and dreams. And then the other thing is that helps me to stay focused to OG. You know, one of my favorite things to meditate on is to write the vision plain. You know, we have visions and goals and dreams as a family, but I have also some as an individual. So writing that vision plain, looking at it, revisiting, kind of like what Chairman Paul said at the OG Expo this last February in Vegas. He said, you know, look at point A to point B, minimize that distraction curve, and revisit your goals daily and often. So I try to do that as often as possible so I can retrack myself and stay on track and get back on focus, and making sure I do it. Some people have called the progress principle, making small steps, taking small actions towards, and, you know, making progress towards my goals. And so for me, the biggest way I can do that is focusing on my relationships with self, relationships with family, relationship with others, team members, and especially our customers. So honey, anything you want to add to that about why we're committed to the amazing OG tool?
Well, with the small amount of time that we have left, you know, one thing I'll say is why not? why not be committed to Organo? Or now, why not be committed to things that you know? I really try to teach my children, and we teach them, you know, to complete what you started. And I really feel like for my wife and I, you know, if I can just use the analogy of baseball, I really feel like right now we just left first base. We've not even made it to second base yet, and so that particular analogy is what I focus on, because, you know, and I've said this in meetings, and I've said this to some of our team members, but a lot of times, if you've not ever been through anything, then you don't know how good you have it. And so, you know, at my age, I'm still a young man. I'm 52 years young, but at my young age, you know, there's some things that we've been through. And I have to tell you, you know, out of everything that we've been through over here is a whole lot better. And so ask me, hey, Sharon, hey, Mill, why are you guys committed to this business? Why are you committed to Organo? Yeah. Why are you committed to the product? People have left your business You've had this big team. You've broken sapphire for sapphire. You've accomplished so many things as it relates to having this nice big team. You've seen this thing funnel down to almost nothing, but you're still committed, because at the end of the day, over here in dealing with all of this is a whole lot better than where we were. And so that's the reason why we are committed to Organo. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you for participating, for sharing your knowledge, for sharing your experience, for your humility to be able to, listen, to share your testimonies, and to be so honest and basically staying committed to who you're becoming. That's amazing. Staying committed to the end results of you guys. I'm really excited to share this journey, to see where you're going to go and how many people we're able to impact in Central Florida. We just have a question. Some people said, I sampled someone last week and I couldn't get them on the phone. What do I do? Well, you know what? Keep calling. And if they don't answer, keep sharing the product with another person. There's a lot of people out there waiting to be sampled, so don't get stuck on one person. There's so many people. It's like seeds. Some seeds do not grow. It doesn't mean you can't continue to plant seeds. And I just want to share that to really wrap it up in our call. Thank you so much for sharing, Mrs. Sharon and Miss Mia. And it's just to say that the future in Organo is bright. The reason why I am committed is because of what I read 1 year, and when I first was in the business almost 7 years ago, when I first read this really committed me to the opportunity. But something I heard this weekend, and I think this Mr. Paul Caldwell said, Miss Blanca Saturas, and she was like, oh, dear, you need to come to Houston. We're having things in my family happening. And she's like, you need to be here. You need to be here. I'm like, okay, I'll be there. And when I say I'm going to do something, I do it, even though it may be difficult. But I was there. I'm so grateful I was there. And it's that Organo is becoming an ecosystem where people want to be part of it. And I don't want to miss out. You know, there's so many people that call us all the time looking for the coffee, looking for the opportunity. And so I see how the company continues to renovate itself. It's renewing itself. It's innovating, bringing new products, bringing new industries, bringing new incentives. The last week when I had that promotion, we saw a growth in our business. At least we had at least 50 new people in our business personally, and you've had a lot of new people. So all these new programs shows me that they're committed to change. They're committed to becoming a better version. So if they're changing and they're growing, and even though they have ups and downs as a company, which is normal, and we saw this at the beginning of the presentation, guess what? If they're committed to changing and to growing and to continue to be this generous company, why am I not going to be committed to that, right? The company doesn't get stuck and it doesn't cry over spilled milk. It decides to become better. And also we see a lot of people who are growing. When I see people like you, I see people like Miss JC, people in Dominican Republic who doing crazy things that I'm like, how are they still building like this? And they're doing it. That's a commitment. Like, why am I going to give up when other people are changing and growing? The biggest question is, am I doing what I need to be doing? And it's like, if you are not doing what you need to be doing, then you need to reevaluate yourself, because things are not going to get easier anywhere. In a job is not going to get easier, and another business is not going to get easier. You have to work on yourself, because your results are usually a reflection of who you are. And so, and what are you doing? So sometimes you are excited at the beginning of a new project, and that dwindles with time. So you need to find that excitement again. Vision, go out there, dream. We do this in Central Florida. We go daydreaming or team activities. Be associated with the right people, because that's going to allow you to recommit and to be focused on the future. And one thing that we really want to say, I know that we're really excited to welcome you to Orlando, August 16th to the 18th. We're going to be here, the United North America. We're really, really excited. I know that it's going to be an amazing event. You're going to get to see why you should be committed, why you're seeing this company growing more and more and more. Also, we have 5 more days to qualify for the OG incentive. You can choose the location. So stay committed to that. If you said you want to be on that vacation, go get it. Don't give up. Keep going. And like Mr. Sharon said at the beginning of this call, you have to commit every day to being the best version of yourself. Even if it's hard, even if it's difficult, even if it's very challenging, do not give up. Commit to be the best version of yourself and to be the best business owner and to be the best OG distributor, because your dreams deserve it. Your family deserves it. And so with that, I want to thank you all for staying connected. Thank you to the small family for their time and for sharing their story. And I can't wait for you to be sharing your story. I can't wait for you to be the one on this call, being the host, being the person sharing their stories of success and how you've overcome your challenges, your obstacles, and you can empower other people and share it forward. And that's what it's all about, making people feel organo. So with that, thank you so much, OG family. I love my OG family. And remember, like we say all the time, it's easy, it's simple, it's organo. Have a wonderful day, and we see you in Organo Unite. Yes or yes?
Yay, Florida.
Bye-bye.
Florida waits. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.